on my birthday. It's a problem.
It's luckily it's not a problem for me just yet. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that small blessing.
There you
Hey
go.
folks, don't mind us talking about our hair issues.
Yep.
So we are back with another one. And I'm actually jumping in the pool for this one a little bit late, but we're here. Foundation season
We're here.
1.
Yes.
How you doing, cuz? Lovely to have you back.
Okay. Thank you. I'm excited about this one because I accidentally
too.
came across this one on a Saturday, one of those rainy Saturdays where we couldn't go
One
to
of
the
those
garden.
days you just said, "Oh,
And
okay,
I was
let me put the
like,
remote
what's
down."
on? What's new? And I was like, what is this? I see black people. What's happening here? And I was like, on Apple
Yo,
TV?
freaking Dr. Bashir is in this. First of all,
Wait. You wait. Oh,
see,
you wait. There's more.
I wanted to watch this show already because I haven't read the books. But actually, speaking of the books, shout out to Mother Roan. Hello, she has read all of the books.
Hi.
So always lovely to have her in the chat. I heard about the show initially because, of course, our Expanse, the main quote unquote bad guy from the Expanse was going to be one of the stars of this show. So I was sad to see him go because I love the Expanse and his character was really, really cool. He's one of those villains that you like to watch. But he came on here. I didn't watch it when it first came out. Kept up a little bit with Pete Peppers. He's been covering a lot of the Apple shows.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in and I'm seeing, so okay, they already had my curiosity, as they say, but then I watched and now they have my attention.
Yes, I was 100%. Excited to see just the writing is amazing. It was engaging. They had me in the first 15 minutes of the first episode, and I was like, I cannot stop watching. What is happening? And at that time, I think there were only 3 episodes out. And when episode 3 ended, I was like, what? Why isn't it all here? Forgetting it's Apple
week to week. See, and because we're so used to binging things now that when we have to slow back down again, like it's all. I mean, I'm telling our age. It's taking us back to childhood to where we have to wait every week.
And then it was so good though. Every week that was my thing. And yes, I kept up all through season 1, and I'm doing the same in season 2. But I'm very happy to go back because I've watched it. I've watched season 1. This is the third.
Nice.
So let me just summarize for our friends who have not watched it.
Thank you. See, Mother Roan saw me with the cup. She know what I do.
I'm judging.
That is why I appreciate her. And yes, fine. I will kick it to you, cousin. Give us the setup of the surrounding with this awesome space civilizations that we have here.
So, Foundation, episode 1 is called The Emperor's Peace, and you will respect the peace. So, there are 3. We are in the future sometime. There are 3 main planets where things are happening. We have Terminus, we have Trantor, and we have Synax. Terminus is full of ice. It's cold. It's harsh living. And we open the episode on Terminus, and we see some boys going on a little quest of their own to some thing. Go ahead. Sure.
I have a question. Just because we're at this part of the episode, and when she says kids, these kids, you say they're like middle school age, right? At least that's about where they look for me. Middle school, maybe freshman in high school, but
definitely like 7th, 8th grade, I would say. Yeah, for real.
So something like that. So the thing that got me is the bet that they were making. My number one question, my first question for this whole show: why are titties immediately being used as currency?
Hilarious, because when that happened, I was like, wait. But that's a boy.
Like, wait a minute, hold on.
I was like, oh, no, that's a girl. Got it. My bad.
But you couldn't tell because it's cold. It's cold. So all the hair is tucked under and the coats are bulky. Yeah, you really had to look twice and look real good at her face.
That gave me a good.
And then she said, if you do it and you make it, then you touch my tits for like 30 seconds or something.
Right.
And he really sat there and thought about it like, word? Okay, bet. I was like, what the fuck are these kids on?
So here we meet Polly, who is one of the people who says that he wants to see the ghost. And we're all wondering, what is this ghost? They're talking about a Norfield. We don't know what that is. But the voice of the narrator is talking about Terminus and how this is the planet that where the foundation is, but she doesn't learn that later. So you get the feeling that this person is part of the story, but somehow she didn't make it to this planet. But these boys are giving us good comedy as they're attempting this bet to get to this vault, and they all pass out. And then one of them passes out, and they leave him.
It was
Polly.
Was it Polly?
It was Polly.
Yes, it was Polly. He went up second.
Yep.
He said, you know what? You don't need to tempt me with the titties. Right. YOLO. I'm gonna go see what I can do just to see what I can do.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I like this kid. He's got moxie. He's got the spirit. So I want to see what he's gonna do. And of course, he gets a little bit further than his friend did, but he does pass out.
Pure will, you know.
So I respect him, and I hope
brave.
I hope we see him again, but I feel like we're not going to, and that's very sad because I would really like to see more from his character.
Right. So then he passes out, and then we see him being dragged to safety by someone, and we don't see that. They skip from there. They go to Trantor, which is where we meet the mathematician Harry Seldon and his assistant Raish, who's also two main characters as well. Harry is a mathematician. He has something called the Prime Radiant, where he stored all this mathematical data that apparently can predict the future. Things
in an awesome library.
In an awesome library, as my cousin is sitting in front of.
I had an orgasm when I saw that. Just y'all know. Look, I started this channel because of Game of Thrones. You know how I am about these books,
libraries, and books.
That library was just. Whew.
Yep. And then we get kind of a conversation between them, and we get kind of an overview of Trantor, and then we skip to Synax, which is a water planet.
Really
and
cool
Harry,
water planet.
Kind of communicating to someone there. Her name is Gail Dornig. She's apparently a student of mathematics, and she is actually preparing to go on a trip, and she's nervously counting prime numbers, which my nerd side was like, girl.
Yes, but see, here's the thing that got me though. She's counting prime numbers into the millions, not the hundreds, not the thousands, into the millions from memory. Out just once, just like we say, red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. No, what's the number? I wrote down the one that they play at the end of 86,981,927.
Right.
That's a number that she gets stuck on at different points in time, and I'm like. 89 million.
Yeah.
Bruh.
She's way up there. And apparently when she restarts the count, she's starting where she stopped last time.
Who even remembers like that? The way her brain works, I'm in love with her brain.
And we noticed a few things about her. She has these pock marks, or what looks like pock marks to us, on her face. Her mom has the same marks, but they have black things in them, so we get the feeling that this is part of their culture.
We're not different stages, I think.
Yeah, they didn't introduce us to any of that just yet. So her mom wants her to stay, but she says she's leaving. She tells her mom to hold her head. Her mom tells her to hold her head high.
Hold her head high.
Yep. What you got to do, regardless of what the people that are whispering next to her and where she needs to go are doing.
We find out a little bit more about her planet moving on, but just for this setup here, like Funda said, it's a water world, but it's not like, if you compare it to Dune and the water world where Muad'Dib's family is originally from, that's a very thriving, very rich water planet. Like he's part of the upper echelon.
Correct.
This planet is not. They're
Yeah, they're
farmers,
very
and
much.
what they have
Yeah,
is valuable, but they're still on the very like outskirts of the galaxy. So that people don't expect a whole lot from them.
and
And
the
we get
society
to that
hasn't
a
developed
lot.
that much. They're still
Yeah.
stuck very much in the Enlightenment, stuck on
They they're
deity
big on
guiding
the
them,
on nature. They're
nature
big on
guiding
nature,
them.
not big on
They are
science.
debunking anything that has to
Hmm.
do with looking in the books and science. So she's
Science,
very
math,
much,
they don't care
get
about
the
none of that.
feeling that she is very much the outlier. So her maybe getting
Hmm.
off this planet might be a good thing for her. So she's
Yeah.
getting on a ship and she finds out that she's won a math contest. So she's getting on a ship to go to Trantor to meet with the mathematician, Harry Seldon. Um, and she wakes up mid jump, which apparently is not supposed to happen. And while she gets on the ship, we see some cool things, all this tech on the ship. For one, there's a guy chatting her up who initially, when he started chatting her up, I was like, you don't
Red
know
flag.
how to paint. Like, why is he all up in her business? Stranger
And
danger.
the one thing that really like I was already bothered by him a little bit, but when he said something like, I don't understand why they even do like there's this one operation that he just said, and she just quick fast. Well, it's because and I don't remember everything that she said. I thought about writing it down, but that's just too much. But she
Yeah,
basically broke it down in a science, and he was looking at her like, why are you going to Trantor? And immediately from that one, you're this is a white man that's condescending, being
right.
very condescending to a young
And
black
very
girl.
much
And
talking
I
to
have
her
none of
like
that
was
bullshit.
she was a
Talking to her
not
like she
very
doesn't
smart
know
little
anything.
girl. And when
Right.
she already checked him that she knew more than he did with his little
Exactly.
question at the beginning.
Exactly. That's when he starts
So
questioning. But
I
that's
was
when my
like,
red flags really went up. It's like, nah,
yeah,
dude,
I wanted her to
something's
get
up with
away
you.
from him, but
And
unfortunately
when
her
she
pod was
did,
right next to his pod. He came
you
and found
remember
her
when
at
she
the
did
end.
get away with them, he didn't follow her. Up until a point, he did. But when she walked away, he just stood there staring at her. I said, "Oh nah, bro, something's wrong with you. You know who that girl is. This was
Yeah.
all an act."
Yeah, but we also see a couple of things. The people that are putting them to sleep on the ship are like
Hmm.
fully immersed in tech, so they have tech throughout their body, but they're built for doing this apparently. They stay
Their
awake, but
tech
the
is so
humans
cool looking,
are
though.
it is, they're so pretty, right? Um and they put the humans to sleep so that they can jump safely from one place to another. This is all
Hmm.
very like futuristic and stuff. So this is all the stuff
It's
that had my
almost
senses like, wow, you know.
this is almost beyond Star Trek tech a little
Yeah,
bit.
I
And
was
not in
like,
all
who
places,
wrote
but
this?
in some places, it seems like the science is a lot further along.
It's all very like incorporated into the
And it looks
human
all
body.
very organic. Like that could
Yeah,
be like us right
right.
now, living
Yeah.
like that.
But funny enough,
It's
we
very
find out
interesting.
later, just a little spoiler for season 2, on those people that have the stuff in their skin. They
Hmm.
are a hive and they reproduce
Oh, hive mind.
with the
Nice.
tech inside them. Yeah, we find that out later, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay,
So
I will
just
put a
note
pin in
that.
that one.
That's why I pointed them out because they're important.
Nice.
Right. So they kind of fold space and then you go from one place to another faster than you would on a regular slow ship.
Yep,
So
another damn
then
connection. Fold in
we
space.
skip to Trantor. So now we're on the third planet that I introduced in the beginning.
Hmm.
And we meet the rulers of that planet and apparently the world, the three
The
emperors.
galaxy.
The galaxy, sorry.
Yeah,
The three emperors, Day, Dawn, Day, and Dusk.
the
And
same
they're
dude.
the same person. They are the genetic dynasty and they are the empire. They rule. They
That just seems so much worse of a setup than a regular monarchy.
okay.
Like, what
And
the,
you have a
bro? What?
sister. I have many
Like,
sisters. No
these
way.
are all clones of the same
Same
guy
person
that were woken up
at
purposely at
different
different
places.
stages
Yeah.
to be taught. Like that blew my mind. I was like, okay,
Yep.
and
So we find out a
my
few
name that
things.
I have is because of the middle brother.
Oh, they.
They
So
got some
they
problems.
Day is going to be he is the ruler. He's the primary
Hmm.
lead ruler. The other
Hmm.
two assist him, but his voice is what puts
He's the
forth
law.
any kind of law, decree,
Yep.
etc.
Any
Um,
ruling.
and dawn grows into him, he grows into dusk, and they all have a 30-year cycle to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then as dusk gets older into his 90s, I believe, he turns into brother dark. They euthanize him and they decant a new dawn.
And that is
Cycle
coming
keeps
soon.
going. So
That's coming very soon, judging from how things were at the end of episode 2.
so that's how the cycle goes. So it's very interesting. That whole situation,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I just want to see a story just about them.
Yeah, like this is a lot because
It's a
there's a
lot.
whole
There's a
there's
lot. There's
already
little
a whole
stories
lot going
inside of the
on.
bigger story. So it's very like
Like
exciting, engaging, and it's like, ooh, what's happening over here?
I will put a disclaimer up. Like I have this chat set for us to go through episodes 1 and 2, but for real, there's a lot of background things that
Yes.
you can't really leave out. So
No.
we might have to do part of episode 2 next week. We'll see how it
Okay.
goes.
Okay. Let's see how it goes. And tell me how we are for time. So we're like
Yeah, definitely.
15
I'm
minutes
watching.
in.
We're still decently good for right now.
We're still good. We're still good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then we see that
That part
Gail
there, Mother
gets
Road, I agree with
there.
that.
Gail gets there. She gets to where she needs to go. She meets with Raish. Raish greets her at the airport or wherever immigration is. So they have kind of
Their version of immigration, almost like Space Ellis Isle.
correct. So she lands on like a what is it called? The tower?
The bridge.
The bridge. She
Isn't it
lands
the
on the
bridge?
bridge, which is like many stories above the planet, and then she
It
has
takes
to
14
skybridge.
hours
And then it takes 14 hours to get from up there to the level
from the
that she has
bridge
to
down
reach.
to the planet.
Right.
That is crazy.
So they've really built this thing out. They're like rings around Trantor where this bridge is sustained to. It's really cool.
Very
But
cool
I
looking.
would imagine, like in a dying planet or an overpopulated planet, this comes in handy because then people get to live on all those levels, right? And yeah, for sustainability, that's kind of cool. That's a way to
They're
do it.
literally
Cool,
like
Earth. What are we
whole
doing?
towns on
What's
those
Space Force
floors.
doing up there? What space are they building? Some rings? Just saying.
You really think that the humans in
Asking
charge
for a
right
friend.
now are thinking on that level? Nah.
Just
See, me
saying.
and you, we're down here thinking like Harry, like, okay, look, we only really gonna last for this much longer. But if
Exactly.
we start doing this right
Let's
now,
solution. Let's
we
solution.
might be a little bit okay.
Yes, let's get ahead of
But
the
yeah,
curve. Exactly. But anyway, we see that the three after actually when we meet, I forgot a very important thing. When we meet the genetic dynasty, we also meet their protector,
yeah.
guider,
I knew it was something weird with
protector,
her.
guardian, mother. Her name is Damosel. And she is the emperor's confidant. So she is mother to Day. She is advisor.
Advisor.
Say that right now to Dawn. I'm sorry, mother to Dawn.
Wait, yeah, mother to
advisor
Dawn,
to
advisor
Day,
today,
and
advisor.
companion to Dusk. So
Yeah.
kind of, in his old age, he sits on the porch and talk to him, basically.
he's low key becoming already that old crotchety man in the neighborhood that sit on the porch and yell at the kids.
And
he's starting to get there. Yep. And she's just sitting there holding his hand. Yeah. Do you need another glass of milk?
You good? Lemonade. Right. You okay? All right. Okay. You'll be okay. You need some Bengay? What you need?
Right. She knows what words to say to coddle him and calm him down real quick, and then she can go about her job.
Yes. Do you notice? And she calms him right down.
Yep. Hilarious. And I'm here for it. I want to. I would watch a whole 3 episodes just about her backstory too. Yep. She's very interesting.
And I think her backstory is going to become important. They're kind of hinting at that for season 2.
Okay, cool.
But, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So Gail is greeted by Raish. He takes her to see. She asks him if there's a seer church, and he tells her it's down on a lower level. She says she wants to see it. But he first takes her to meet Harry Seldon, and as they're going, she starts counting primes. And he notices and he asks her, like, what are you doing? She's like, she counts prime numbers when she's nervous.
So,
yeah. Like, he notes that. He's keeping note. I'm like, okay, Raish, I
I was
see
like,
you.
okay, Raish, I see you. I know where that part of the story's going.
Exactly. Interest, huh? I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He
Like
brings
she hasn't
her.
been there for more than 5 minutes, and he's
Obviously,
already
he's
impressed.
like, hello, I've met my wife.
Right.
Apparently. So he brings her to meet with Harry, and Harry comes off as like a total jerk to her. When I originally thought, oh, he's
Did you take
excited
it
to
like
meet
that?
her. Well, I did not,
It was a
at first, I didn't
complete
know,
jerk.
as I was like, is he testing her to see if what she wrote is really what she knows? Or what is he doing? I couldn't understand his game, right? But then
Okay.
as he starts talking about what's actually going on with the dynasty and how they are not very receptive of his theories,
Mm-hmm.
then I started seeing the bigger picture. He needs her to
Yeah.
be prepared for how she's going to be
You
handled
know,
by them,
you know
right?
what the fuck shit with Harry right there was though. After we get through this whole little bit, they have their little meet up. He
Mm.
says, "Well, I should just get this out the way now. I'm gonna be arrested tomorrow, and so
Right,
will
that
you."
part. Yeah,
I
that was
said,
good.
"Bitch, I just got here.
That's exactly what she said.
Why
And
you didn't send
she
me
didn't
that
get
in
as
the
mad.
memo?"
See, how I know that she wasn't all the way our people is because she was like, all right, so I guess I'm going home now. Because there's no way
Seriously.
that you just brought me planets away
After she
to be
just
arrested.
came through Ellis Isles and
Yes.
said, "Oh, how long will you be here?" Like, "Oh, well, no, I'm not going back. This is my home now." You about to be arrested, huh?
Yep. Come again?
Come on. This is
Say
where
English
my
words
life
to
is
me.
supposed
You're
to be
speaking
now.
you are speaking Trentorian and I am from Synax. I don't understand what
Exactly.
you're
I
saying.
maybe I'm not understanding the words as you mean for them
Exactly.
to be understood. Can you repeat that,
Exactly.
please?
Yep. That's exactly where I was with it. I
It's
was like,
like, bro,
why
how
is
you
he
gonna come
telling
set
her?
me up? How you
Yes,
gonna come set me up for the okie doke?
we are gonna be arrested. So she says, did you know all of this while you were showing me the sites to race? She's like, bruh, you couldn't put me up on game?
At least Raish had enough decency to say, I mean, yeah, he didn't say the words, but you could tell on his face, my bad,
Yeah.
girl,
And
but
then
that's
and
my
then
boy, man.
and then Harry hits her with the math is more than just numbers. I'm like, see, Harry, you that new math guy.
Right, again, put
And
that in the
again,
memo,
I just
bruh.
come home with this new math stuff, and I'm like, there was nothing wrong with the old math. Why
Son.
are we doing new math? Why are we doing this? Why?
Okay, see, and
Explain it.
I'm only gonna take a minute and a half on this. Seriously, that math shit gets on my damn nerves because they don't even want to explain this shit accurately to the kids.
Agreed.
They want to put it on a damn website and then send home one half a sentence of
Yes.
instructions about what it's supposed to be and expect
Go
people to be able to
here.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Why can't we just go back to 2 + 2 = 4?
Listen,
4 × 4 = 16. That's simple.
I
What do we
employ
need
all
to
the
do
help.
counting these damn boxes?
But
Why?
clearly, this is the kind of math that's gonna get us to prime radiant state where
That's why we
the
that's
math is
why
coming
we,
out.
we
That's
have
what we will
Space
never get it.
Force.
This is why the
That's why we have
children
Space
children
Force
need
and
to
not
be
the
started.
Federation.
Yep. The
We don't
children.
have the Federation right now because they want to do this new math bullshit.
So then she goes to the church, to the temple, and I'm just gonna wrap up with Gail real quick
Yeah,
until
she's trying to center herself. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, she's trying to center herself. She's like, what the heck is all this? He brought her to kind of prove the theory of psychohistory is what it's called, and his
Mm-hmm.
theory of what's going to happen in the future. He's going to be arrested because he's riling up people, and now people are starting to worship him. And the genetic dynasty is very much protective over
And
people
it's
not
not.
deviating from worshiping them.
Yeah, see,
And
that's the thing.
not
It's not really, and well, from how I took it, it's not really a worshiping thing, but they're afraid of losing power.
correct.
And what he's saying isn't wrong. The math checks out. Like the half of the reason why Gail is there is because she's a little bit smarter than him. She
Mhm.
and her test scores show that. She's there because she has the skill to look at all of the math, double check, and say whether he is right or wrong or not. That's the main reason
I
she's
also
there.
think
But
he's
he got to
puzzled
her
by
before they did.
I think he's also puzzled by her insight
Exactly.
because
And why she
she
knows
is
the things she
very
knows.
insightful beyond just the math. Because I think some of that
She
explanation that she gave wasn't solely based on the math.
no,
It was based on her, what she could feel and see. And I don't
like
think
I don't
she doesn't even know that at this point yet,
exactly. That's what I was thinking. She
right?
doesn't know exactly what like she's kind of you could say she's an X-Man.
Yeah,
She's a superhero, but she doesn't
she
really
doesn't know it
know that she has the power. But there's a few times where we'll see, and I imagine that the more we see her, the stronger this power is going to grow. She just has feelings of when something's wrong. I mean, and you're a mother. I'm sure at different times you could
yet.
always tell
It's
when something's wrong with your
intuitive,
sons. You don't know what,
but
but
you know
some
it's
random
something.
feeling comes along,
Yep.
and okay,
And
well,
you
let me call the baby real quick.
investigate, and
Hey,
then you get
you
to
good?
the yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
and she has a lot of these moments, and she doesn't try to figure out why she has them. She just runs with it. And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10,
Well,
actually
right
no,
now
10 times out of
she
10,
has the explanation
she's
of
on point.
math, and I've read all these
Right,
books
but
and all of my
and
theories,
the math
and
isn't
it's
always going to
merging, and it's
be
but when
mathing.
she
Yeah,
can't explain it, she's not really looking for the why. And this is why I think she wanted to go to the church, because she wanted to
because she's trying to
kind of
figure
see,
that out.
am I a seer
Hmm.
or not? And so she asks the seer there, and he immediately puts her in her place and tells her that because she took the stones out her face, that the sleeper ain't checking for her. And no, hell no, she ain't no part of their religion, and she needs to go kick rocks. That's basically what he told
I
her.
don't buy that. That's what he said, but I think he was doing that thing that some people do when they think they have leverage. They'll tell you the opposite of what they really mean just to see how you'll react to it and if you'll give the appropriate answer or not. And I
Right.
think she did. So low key, I think he's still checking for her. And
You
that's why we see him making the little bit of moves that we do once the trial starts. So I'm very interested in his
Yeah,
character,
he
and I
did.
would love to
He came
see
to interview her. Right? He came to view when she was
to
being.
view. Yeah, talk about he
Yeah.
was curious at the trial. I'm bro, you
Yeah.
curious.
Yep.
Like,
All right. So then Rach takes her to her quarters, and she starts dreaming of being in the water, and you see her remembering what happened in her home world, why she took out the things out of her face,
yeah,
um
she's dream.
that she was
She's dreaming of being drowned.
drowned.
Like she's in
Yeah,
her room in her bed sleeping, and just the water like keeps
starts
coming up, and we
rising, and
find
it's
out
actually a dream.
there was an incident that happened, and like she tried to tell people, yo, the seas are rising, we
These
need
are
to try to
rising.
put blockers up or something,
Yep.
and they didn't listen to her because they don't
Yep.
care about math and shit like that.
No, they
And
don't.
a catastrophe happened, and then they had to deal with it.
Yep.
So it again, that's why I would love to watch just a little miniseries just about her and
They
her
get
home.
into it. They get into. You probably get to that
Do
too.
they? Okay, good,
They
good,
get
good,
into
good,
her backstory a little bit.
good to
So
know.
then, as she's having her dream, they go back. We go back to the what's happening on the planet, and
Hmm.
we see two new planets, two delegations from two planets, Anachron and Thespis, have come to see the genetic dynasty. And they came bearing gifts, and Damosel is explaining to the youngest of the three that these planets are coming to visit them because
Hmm.
they're warring against each other, and they're trying to be diplomatic and resolve the issues because war is expensive.
There's
Meaning,
so many
if
no's
these
of Star
planets
Trek on in
if
this
these
episode,
planets
man.
are at war, then they can't produce for us and give us the
Then
money
they can't give us what we
power,
need to be having.
basically.
Yep. That's basically
I
it.
was like,
There's
oh,
value in
political.
both of these worlds, but
Right.
and this is what I think we'll start to see the problem with Brother Day is. There's value until his feelings get hurt. Until
But
he's wronged or something happens and he can't quite figure it out, but he knows he needs to punish something. So
mhm,
he be going off on these tangents
yes.
and
But you
it
notice
gets heavy.
they're all supposed to be sharing all the information. However,
Mm,
experience is a good teacher. They're all having
yep.
different experiences as these things are happening around them. The youngest one is getting this education from Damosel, about these happenings that I'm willing to bet the other two never had to, because these things didn't happen during their childhood.
During their reign.
So
Yep.
they're gonna deviate from each other. They're not gonna be the same at some point. It's that
I
nature
think
nurture
that's
tool. So then nature intervenes. So on a psychological
my biggest
psychologist
problem
tip,
with Day.
I was like, this is interesting. They're all gonna
That's
be like
that's
trying to
that
be an
right there.
individual.
Right. That's my biggest problem with Day. Like, bro, you're looking at the blueprint. This is going by the okay, yep, they doing that, right? Okay, these two assholes over here. Okay, I gotta do something about them. They still going, okay, wait, hold on. Why are more people not doing? And he doesn't know how to deal with anything that deviates from the plan.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's the biggest problem. And it's going to be very interesting watching how he works after what happens in episode 2.
Yeah.
Because yeesh. I think he created some martyrs where he didn't think he was creating martyrs. And that's going to be a big problem for him.
Yeah. So we jump to the next day. Harry and Raish meet with Gail and wait to get arrested. They come for her, and she is taken for questioning. And then Harry has also been taken to this room, and they're both being accused of conspiring to destable the Empire with their theories. So
hey, Jake,
they're brought for a tribunal in front of the emperors, and Harry gets on the stand and says that his prediction states that science says that Trantor and the Galactic Empire will lay in ruins over the next 500
Wait. I'm sorry, real quick. There's one thing that he does first that just made me cackle when he did it. When they brought this, please rise and all, they said, well, should I go first or would you like to? And like, Harry doesn't care what order he goes in. He just wanted to be the first one to talk.
Exactly.
And throw salt in the game. And I appreciate that, Petty. I thought it was great.
So what he's basically saying is that the empire falls, the genetic dynasty falls, wars break out, there's order vanishes, there'll be ruin, and it'll last for 30,000 years. And he's saying he's trying to soften the fall. He can't avoid it, but he's trying to soften the fall and shorten what this is called the Dark Ages.
1,000 years versus 30,000
years.
Let me say it again. 1,000 years if they just stop doing the bullshit and follow Harry's plan versus 30,000 years of death and war and destruction and having to start all over again, literally having to reinvent the wheel and figure out how fire works.
So that whole situation right there immediately made me think of climate change.
Yep.
Immediately. Like, we already know the damage that's being done, but nobody's really doing anything, So
it's on Apple Plus, Jake. It's another one of those shows. Like, I think Jake has been holding out on paying for Apple too, just like I have. We're gonna have to break down and pay for Apple, Jake. They really do have. They are under the radar right now. They have some really good shows, and Foundation is one of them.
So Harry proposes that he tells her that something else needs to be figured out before someone else uses it against her, that she needs to figure out if she's going to disprove him. The guy on the ship, the guy from the ship.
The thing,
Harry gives her the prime radiant, but the guy from the ship gives her the prime radiant because they confiscated it from Harry. And he reveals himself as a spy. He was spying on her from when she left Synax. So
that was that red flag he was giving.
Thinking stranger danger. He was dangerous. He was watching her, and he tells her that she needs to figure it out and disprove Harry. And he encourages her to prove him wrong, just so this can all be put to bed and she can go back to her planet and be happy on her water planet.
But her
about
clapbacks, her clapbacks, you can't even really categorize it as a clapback. But she still stepped to him like, okay, so if I find that it's wrong, I'll say that it's wrong, because she's not a liar. If she does check the math and she finds that it's wrong, she's going to say, yeah, he's absolutely wrong. But she's smart enough to ask, okay, but if I find out that it's true, then what? And he says, well, you lie and disprove him, and then we'll send you back home, and I promise you the empire will take care of you. Bitch.
That doesn't stop the
okay,
fall.
but that doesn't
like,
stop
the burden you're putting on her
coming.
You're telling her billions of people are going to die,
and you want her to not do something about that when she could.
You don't know her from a can of paint, clearly.
Come on, son. Come on. Right. And I love that part, because once they do reconvene, she says, no, the shit checks out and this is going to happen. And of course, Brother Day, because he's the asshole that always just sees red in this. Yeah. He comes up and said, well, we can just kill both you. And she steps up and she says, well, then you'll be dead in a year.
Correct. Yeah, she lied.
Mind you,
that is a lie.
And that stopped him so cold.
He stopped him in his tracks.
Like, you could see it on his face. Yeah. Just the huh?
Because he was almost 30.
She said, like, if you kill us,
because
you
he was
kill him,
30, right? He was close to 30, right? That
right?
One.
Yeah, exactly. if you kill him, you kill Hope. You kill Hope,
you die.
Everyone dies, and you're going to be among the first, because you will die in a year. Your dynasty is done if you kill him right now. But go ahead. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You're the empire, but I'm just telling you the facts. You wanted me to tell you the facts, right? That's it.
That was amazing. And she shuts him in his place.
I love her character.
He's like, well, what are you guys proposing? So then Harry
had him shook.
He's proposing like this Encyclopedia Galactica to save and preserve humanity's story. It would be
hold on, cuz real quick. I'm sorry, Mother on. See this right here. This is why I again, the library is behind me specifically because of this episode. Burning the library at Alexandria set Europe back so many years. There was so much knowledge held at the Library of Alexandria, bruh. I don't think we'll ever really have that amount of knowledge stored away to pass on in one place ever again. And that is sad. Like, if y'all want to know, if you want to picture the Library of Alexandria, picture what that scene, I forget what season it was, but that in Game of Thrones, when they showed you the inside of the Citadel.
Oh yeah.
Picture that.
With all the
and triple it. Picture that and triple it. That was the Library of Alexandria. All of that knowledge just gone, poof, up in smoke because of war. Ugh, depressing. Anyway, moving on. Sorry.
They said that, they're gonna get back to them type of thing. And they send them back to their cells. But as they're walking, Gil is like looking up at the sky bridge. She's like, Harry, the sky, something's wrong.
And that's that X-Men superpower.
You can't even see the sky from that level.
You can't even see. Think about what we said. From the bridge to the planet is 14 hours of travel. She can't just look up in the sky and see past the freaking ozone layer, past the stratosphere and all of the spheres up there into space.
She doesn't even
but
realize
she still
made a prediction.
She still knows something is about to happen, and oh boy, did something happen! And shout out to my Abby. Go hungry.
At that moment, we see the terrorists come, and they all say something in their native tongues, and they ignite bombs.
And there were two different dialects
places.
There.
Yeah,
two different dialects places.
There. And they destroy the Star Bridge. The Star Bridge comes tumbling down.
Oh my God!
You because we know that there were so many levels between surface and where they are. We already know that a whole bunch of people are dying. People are
more than 100 levels.
There were over 200 bodies still floating in space the next day. Like, it was madness, mayhem. Like
madness, dude. Just
100 million people died in that one instance. And the outer regions are blamed for it. So the two delegations,
those two delegations that were there,
and Anacreon get blamed for this because the native tongues that were spoken right before the bombs went off were in both of their dialects.
And they did it in very, very key places. There was someone that actually got on the ship and was up in the tower of the bridge. And then there was someone at the bottom still that was right at the main gate. So all of that was just cut off.
Yep.
So many lives gone.
So, Rayce tries to convince Gale to say that Harry is wrong, and he tries to tell her that, you know, you should do this and just go home, because he's trying to protect her now. He feels protective of her, and she looks
now you feel protective, bruh.
She looks at him and she goes, "You've lost the faith." I know his chance was when he greeted her at the thing and say, "Hey, it's some bullshit. Go back home." That was his chance.
And Rayce is. I need your thoughts on him, like pre what the incident of episode 2, because he confuses me.
Yeah. See,
well, we'll get to that. Maybe not tonight, but we'll get to it.
There are reasons, and because I know the whole season, I'm not.
Yeah. Don't tell me.
So, because
normally I don't care about spoilers, but for this one, don't tell me.
That would be really spoiling it. You need to see the full season.
Okay.
Understand him, but he was young. I'll just say this: he was young when he went to live with Harry. So he's Harry's boy,
I remember that.
Right? Mm-hmm. So just know that's like his dad.
And that becomes a thing in episode 2.
It was a master plan from the beginning. So he knew a lot more than he was letting on, but even his feelings drove his relationship with her. So
feelings make things change.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So they bring her and Harry to Empire again after this bombing has happened. Empire's pissed. Harry tells them to end the Imperial cloning because that's the only thing that's going to satisfy the outer regions. And Gale tells Empire not to kill them or Empire would die in the next year. And she's like, don't kill Hope. So then Harry and Gale are allowed to go to Terminus. They tell them that's the planet that they go to and do their preservation of whatever.
And Harry has to explain to her that going to Terminus was always the plan. And my one thing with that is, first of all, the name of this place is Terminus.
And it's at the edge of the galaxy.
At the edge of the galaxy. And I get it.
Homeboy said, you can't use jump ships. You're going to go on slow ship.
Look, you know what? Right. It's going to take them like damn near 3 years to get there. I don't mind the 3-year travel. I get it. It's on the outskirts. And, you know, they're far, far away from, you know, the main eyes of the Empire. But I think Harry said it right before they left. Like, okay, so, you know, this is just you. Don't think I don't see what you're doing, Brother Day. Yeah. This is just you getting rid of us without having to get your hands bloody. But if what we saying comes to fruition in our program, you see that shit works, you just gonna co-opt it and say that it was all your idea all along. So
and they looked at him like, and they looked at him like,
they was like, well, duh,
that's what we do. That's what we.
I wasn't trying to hide that. I mean, we already knew this. I'm glad we're all on the same page. I'm glad we're all on the same page now, right? Thank you. I'm glad you put it so well, good sir. Thank you so much.
Very articulate.
It was hilarious, but
go do a good job.
There's one thing though. The name is Terminus, you know, terminal and you know, root words like that, those tend to give bad vibes. And I don't know if you're a Walking Dead fan, but there's a place called Terminus that is in the Walking Dead lore, and it was not a good place. So for a second, I was worried until I saw what the building blocks were, and Harry was just like, no, going to Terminus was always the plan. And I was like, okay.
I had the same thought because I'm like, if we started the episode on Terminus. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
And then I think that whatever is going to culminate at the end will end on Terminus. That's what I think.
Okay, see, yes, and
that's what
Ron, the Circle Brothers, always lovely to see you in the chat, my guy. We got to do a thing sometime. Just putting that out there. We need to hook up. But yes, the meat people, because Terminus in The Walking Dead, those were some people that were advertising their place as a safe haven away from the zombies, a community that was gonna like help protect each other and work. But no, they were just a bunch of cannibals, and it was disgusting. And they had a bunch of cannibals led by, I don't know if you're a Star Trek fan, but for Star Trek fans that are watching this, Tasha Yar. They had Denise Crosby playing the leader of these people. Tasha Yar would never, and I'm mad. I feel disrespected that they put her because because you know who Tasha is, though. I feel really disrespected that they put her in that role, but that's cool. Back to the space people, though.
Yes, back to the space people. So they go off to save the galaxy in their slow ship.
And that is very The Last of Us. You're right.
That's kind of, yes, very The Last of Us. That's what I thought when you said the meat people. So we flash back to Terminus and we see the warden of Terminus, Salvor, who is my girl. That's my girl. She's walking.
I like her.
She's walking around the planet and she's walking towards the vault. It's this big triangular thing in the middle of the
one that
thing.
pulls She's the one that pulls Polly.
She's the one that pulls
out of the zone
from
the shit doesn't affect her.
It doesn't affect her. And at the end, we see her walk right up to it and touch it. And I'm like, wait, what? The voiceover is what got me. Is she said the math can show us, like a group of things, on the grander scale, we can predict what people are going to do, but what a single person is an outlier. And it reminded me of I want to say Westworld. It reminded me a lot of Westworld. You can't really predict what an outlier, someone that naturally thinks outside the box against the programming. And you don't know what they're going to do, so you can't put them in the mathematical equation. Psychology brain, the nature nurture thing too.
Exactly.
So it's going to split off into its own variant. So
and they're going to do whatever they want to do.
Exactly. So Salvor, and I actually think that Gail is an outlier as well.
I think she is too. And she just doesn't know it yet at this point in the story.
And she is our narrator, it turns out.
Because why else is someone who is from this far out place? Now, this is the one thing I'll agree with the spy guy in the beginning. She's from this just random small ass poor planet. Yeah, they contribute, but not in like a whole huge grandiose way.
Yeah.
But she comes out of this world. And she is literally one of the number 2 top thinker in the galaxy. Not just from her people, not just on one planet, but of the galaxy. That's how smart she is. And that is a rare freaking find. So that's why I'm really into her character so much, because she's like a super nerd. And y'all know I vibe with that.
So the episode that we just watched, the first one, is called The Emperor's Peace, which was clearly disrupted by all the things.
Disrupted.
Not just Harry blowing up their whole genetic dynasty theory, but also the literal blow up of the Starbridge. And
and also I think Day contributes to what the Emperor's Peace is, and why some of us are looking at the Emperor's Peace like
there is no peace,
bruh. This ain't peace. It's like it's almost like that line that Captain America says to Fury in The Winter Soldier, where he's all proud of the new ships that they have, that they're gonna stop a lot of threats, and he's like, okay, but they haven't done nothing yet, though. this isn't right, like this isn't peace, this is fear. And fear will make you do some shit. And Day is afraid of losing his position of power, so he really about to be on that fuck shit.
Yes, and we see that in episode 2, which is called Preparing to Live. So
which I think we can seamlessly move into.
So
well done on the narrating. Thank you.
No problem. So on episode 2, Preparing to Live.
In case y'all didn't know, Funda is actually I call her big cousin because she's older than me. Like, she used to babysit me when we was kids, and she has like the methodical brain for all these things. Like, y'all know when I just talk about shit, I just talk about shit. If it's just me, Meeks, and B here, we're gonna be here on like just 2 topics for 3 hours.
Oh
but Funda keeps us moving along. That's why I'm letting her do all the talking. She's doing a great job, y'all. Please throw some hearts in the chat for her. Appreciate you. I may be hilarious, but I'm telling the truth though.
Thank you, Cuzzo. Appreciate you. All right, so we go to this dwarf planet in the beginning of the episode called Athrea, and Empire's assassins come for a person who is building nano bombs apparently. So when the bridge blew up, somebody pressed their inside of their thing and they blew up the thing. The tech is amazing. Show. It was all nano bombs inside bodies. So they go for her. She's this doctor who apparently built these bombs that the people used to blow up. Yeah. So, you know, Empire's assassins did their research. They found out who this is. They went to go find her, and she has to talk. They shoot her, and she's dying. And as she's dying, Damosel is standing over her going, you can die in the next 20 minutes. We have the means to save you, but you're going to have to tell us who you built these for.
Who did. And they put that little method, like, again, see, and this is why I say their tech sometimes reminds me of Star Trek, but the way they do things so organically really makes me think that this is really just us on another level. They put the little strip on her neck and it clears up the airways because of the injury she has. It blocks her breathing, but she's able to breathe and speak naturally. And she heard that threat that either you're going to tell us what we want to know or you're going to die. And she don't say shit.
Nope. She
says not a fucking thing. They have to go back home with no information and say, well, like, we can't really charge these people we've been holding hostage. No avenue of investigation that we have gone down has yielded anything. And that means that whoever they have in this whole conspiracy theory, they are committed to the cause. Nobody is saying shit. And mind you, that bomb, that woman, there's no other person that they could have gone to in that company. It was only her. And she said like, her life on the line. Nah.
Nope. And she tried to run. That told me when she tried to run, I was like, oh, you wrong.
Yeah.
You knew what you were doing. Okay.
She knew exactly what was happening, right? Because otherwise she wouldn't have ran.
Day is in full irritation mode. I don't even know how long it's been.
He's throwing a tantrum.
Somebody done stole his bike. He's walking up and down the street stomping. He wants to know how many bodies are still in space. So Damosel tells him that there's 137 bodies still circling the planet. He's like, and every time they hit, it's a reminder that they did this to us.
Okay, see, and let me cut it right there. Okay, again, this is why I have the name that I do. Space Thranduil is Scurry. For y'all that have seen Lord of the Rings, Brother Day is played by the same dude that played Legolas's dad. And actually, no, it wasn't Lord of the Rings. In The Hobbit, that's where he featured the most. Okay, and you remember that argument he was having with the damn troll in his spot, and what was it, the troll? Or was it the dwarf, the king of the dwarves? I think it was the king of the dwarves. But he basically, dwarf man was talking bullshit, and Thranduil turned around talking about, "Do not speak to me of dragon fire." Okay, and his whole face changed, which let us know that he was under a glamour with that pretty ass face, and half of his face is gone because he used to be a fucking dragon fighter in some other part of the world, and he's the king. But he's not used to this disrespect. He does not fuck with that shit at all. And he could kill this guy, but he still has some type of value. So he's got to keep him on the list. Just like these 2 hostages here have a little bit of value.
They are having dinner with
it's just so interesting to see the contrast.
They will not let them go. They are having dinner with them.
It has been like 2 weeks, and they still there being tortured.
I think Day is convinced that Harry hired these 2 people to blow up this thing, and he wants him to be responsible because then he can legitimately punish him. The funny thing is, Dusk told him, just kill Harry and the girl and be done with this in the beginning.
But you know what's ringing in his head? But okay, you can kill him. You can kill me, but then you'll be dead in a year.
Yes,
exactly. And he is not willing to chance that shit at all.
No. He only got 30 on the plane.
While he's saying he doesn't believe any of the bullshit that they're saying, he is not willing to chance that not one bit.
So they're at a standstill. They're still questioning delegation. Delegation is saying it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. Never see and don't know. Nobody wants to own up to any of it, right?
I heard the accent slip right there.
So we skip to a ship. They're on the slow ship. So they got away from Trantor, Harry and Gale and the whole delegation, the followers of Harry Seldon. They're on a ship. They're headed towards Trantor. And we see that Gale is in a pool because she loves her some water.
She's from the water world. I love that they have that one thing that defines her. Yeah, she's and she thinks a lot when she's in that pool.
Yeah, she's counting primes while she's doing her laps. And we see Raish is come there to talk to her, and we see that they've gotten a little bit more cozy. Hello.
Yeah, a little bit. Like you said, when they first met, he found wifey, and he's making that dream happen.
It's quite cozy. So we get like a relationship montage with these two,
and they're cute together. They're really cute together.
They're very cute. Like they could. In real life, I hope this is a
facts. Like she's like like 4'8". To his like 5'11", like the height dynamic is hilarious.
Most of his height is his neck. He has a very long,
very
neck.
True. Dean, oh my god, I've been trying to figure out where I knew his face from, and I just remembered that's fucking Dean Thomas from Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, that too. We saw him in Harry Potter.
I haven't watched How to Get Away with Murder. I knew he was on there. I just haven't watched it yet. But the whole time I was racking my brain like, who the fuck is this boy? And I didn't want to Google. So I just remembered. Yes, that was little Dean Thomas from Harry Potter.
They have about 4 years to go before they get to where they're gonna get to. So these two are gonna be booed up.
And they doing the thing. And it's been what, like 2 years? By now,
it's like 2.5 years. They have 4 more
they're
years
still on the way to Terminus,
right?
Yeah,
it's like 6 years to get to Terminus. Yeah. So they fall for each other. You see them getting busy in the pool. She pulls him in, tells him she's going to teach him how to swim. He panics, so she has to save him. All of a sudden, homeboy knows how to float.
Save him.
Lips and God knows what else. But
next thing we know, nobody has clothes on.
I hope they didn't leave space for Jesus. So you know.
I mean, I get it. I get it now because look, you in space, look, you're still human. You still have needs. I get it. I get it.
They weren't responsible, So
they were not.
They were not responsible. And when we are not responsible, what happens? We get pregnant, and you can't be pregnant.
And what happened with the baby girl? I forget her name, but baby girl that got pregnant.
Hold on, we're gonna get to her for a second. So apparently, when they do this, because of the radiation in space, they have a process to take the baby out and put it into what they call a seed bank.
Hibernation,
This tech? Hello, this tech? Until it's safe for them to re-implant and
until it's safe. Like, bro, what masterminds are coming up with the science?
Who is dreaming it up? Who is dreaming it up to even write it down, man? This is dope.
Okay. Can I say just one random thing? Like in one of my nerd groups a while back, a thread that became very popular was like, write down like your biggest personal conspiracy theory. And the conspiracy theory that I thought of, because I read a lot of books in sci-fi and all this, and I was like, my biggest conspiracy theory is that authors of science fiction and fantasy books have been trying to tell us all along that some shit's going down, that has some shit going down that we don't know about and that everybody's covering up. But one day, maybe sometime soon, things are going to start happening, and we're letting you know what could be done to maybe to weather the storm.
Correct.
Okay, and we have books like Star Trek Foundation, books like The 100. If y'all watch the 100 TV show, there was some shit going down there. Yep. All of these things add up. So I'm saying, and it's a cool tie-in for this because who the hell is coming up with this awesome ass tech on this damn show?
Oh my
It's
God.
great. Hey,
So
Michelle,
they're
welcome
preparing
back.
to live. So then when she goes to get her baby taken out and stored for safety, the doctor tells her, "Hey, I have an issue. I don't know if I should bring it to you or Harry." So I was like, "Well, that's interesting." So the
She's second in
followers,
command now.
she's second in command. Why are they coming to her like? I was like, "Whoa."
Even she looked surprised.
She was
by
surprised,
that line.
and then she was like, "Oh well, I guess I better start owning this. I'll go talk to her myself."
Yeah, she was like, "You know what? Let me go talk to her. That's my girl. Let me go talk to her. I'll have her come to you with an answer within the next hour or two."
But she was like, "I will go talk to her myself." I was like, "Okay,
Yep.
Go step up to the plate."
I love that part. That was one of my favorite parts of the episode.
And she talks to the girl, and the girl was like, "Listen, we all have our choices to make. I don't know what's going to happen between now and 4 years from now. And I don't know if I want to live with not feeling my baby inside of me. Right now, I know it's there. And listen,
I know the risks.
Choice.
I know because of the radiation, my milk may be contaminated. I might not be able to breastfeed the baby. But I get it. I know. Okay, don't tell me this bullshit science nonsense. Okay, me and you as girls.
She didn't even say it was bull. She was like, "That's I'm not willing."
Right. I don't want to hear his words out of your mouth.
Yeah, I'm not.
That was basically it.
That's not a reality I want to live with. I was like, okay. Well,
and I understood. And look, again,
and she respected it. She let her.
And that's for a woman. That's something that really is just very primal in thought. Because you know me, I love tiny humans. They're really sense of joy. Even when they get bigger, I still call them my tiny humans. Yeah, even though some of them are taller than me now, I don't care. Okay, I remember when you were in diapers and you were only 2 feet high. Okay, so you're still my tiny human. But I, unfortunately, will never be able to have children because I had to have a hysterectomy to literally save my life and keep me from not bleeding out. Some years ago, so I won't ever have kids. So being put in the situation that she was put in, I absolutely understood what she was feeling, even though she knew the negative risks, and the negatives were far more than the positives of having a baby in space on that journey that they were on, especially once they actually got to Terminus, because that was not a healthy planet.
No.
But she still was willing to weather that storm because what if later I can't do this? And I understood that so much to my core because there are some very irresponsible days of young 19, 20-year-old AK where I could have had a baby, but I chose not to. And now I can't. So you think about something like that, and it's very easy to understand how hard this choice for her was.
And it was a choice between living today and preparing to live tomorrow. So I
exactly.
Very interesting tie into the title of the episode, Preparing to Live. She's like, what am I preparing for? I'm alive today.
Basically, I'm alive today. Exactly. I might not be alive tomorrow for my baby to be alive with me tomorrow. Me
that things are changing so quickly that all of us ain't going to be here in 30 years. I'm
exactly.
not. She was like, no.
Like, I don't want to waste even 1/2 second of experience. I might not ever get to feel my baby growing inside of me again once they take it out. And she said, no, look, I'm going to just weather this storm. If it doesn't go well, okay, I will deal with that when it comes. But for right now, this feels right. This is what I'm doing. I'm keeping my baby.
I literally had to pause the episode at that point because I was like, that is crazy.
Like, that's real, right? That's real shit.
Ouch.
Like,
why?
You gotta respect that 100%.
I was like, damn it, I was in my nerddom, I was in space, and now you got me feeling,
and then now I'm like,
feelings.
Like, wait, hold on, look. I'm not crying, you're crying.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Right, yeah, see, and that again is one of the things that I really love about this show, because they can slip that shit in so easily, so seamlessly, and make the situation so real with just 2 lines of dialogue.
Give them their flowers.
Fantastic. And also, again, hello, people, Hollywood, pay these fucking writers their money, okay? Without writers, we don't get none of these damn stories to talk about.
Yep. Also, Secret Invasion. These are the writers you should have hired. Anyway, sorry. The wound is still there.
No, they should have hired us. Okay, I mean,
Word.
you might not be cocky enough to say it, but fuck that. I'm gonna be on my cocky nerd shit right now. Okay, you should have hired me and her. Okay.
Yep. So back on Trantor, we see Dusk. He goes to the ruins to see the seer.
Yes.
And he's like, why did
Such
you
a good
see Gale Dornick?
sequence.
Why you see Gale? Is Gale a seer?
What I know she came here. What did you tell her?
Her stuff. Did she see the future? Is that why she co-signed Harry's theory? And the guy was like, I don't even see you. Your empire.
Right, like, yo, man, who? See, you know what? See, and that is why I have my eye on that character. Because first of all, he stopped him in his tracks. He stopped Brother Dusk in his tracks. He's like, hold on.
Your weapons can't come in here.
Your weapons can't come in here. Okay. All the guards are outside. No.
Damsel.
He put his hand forward.
Damsel.
That shield. That force shield.
He first looked at Damsel.
Your technology is not welcome here.
Did you see that he looked at Damsel?
Yeah.
And she was surprised because she
that he could even see that
he could see that she was not human, and she was surprised at that.
She had to take several steps back, and he had to deactivate his shield.
Yep,
and then that man was gonna talk to him, and I said, wait a minute, hold on. See, and that right there, when I saw that part, I said, what's in my notes? I said, hold on, is this bitch a robot?
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't tell up until that point. Is when I began to question, and I still didn't know for sure.
Yep.
And until later, it's confirmed.
Yeah, I kind of knew because I'm like, she's just weird.
Like, yeah, the way she moves.
Emotion.
It's
zero.
I don't even want to say it's too mechanical. It's just, I guess, too forced. Maybe would be the way. Like, she's trying very hard to look like she's normal human.
And the part she's missing is no human's perfect.
And what she's fixing is like, no, we're not perfect. Not one part of us is perfect, and that's what she's not understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was such a great sequence.
It was.
And he was so shook because that man told him, look, dude, my divine deity, he don't fuck with y'all. he knows who you are, but he don't got a damn thing to do with you. He looked at y'all and said, nah. It's basically, yo, my homie KP, our other West Indian brother is in the spot. What's going on, KP? Thanks for coming through.
So then we back to the ship, and Harry is looking at the Prime Radiant, and he's saying, what happens? So Gale. He says to Gale, why are you always in the dark? And she says to find the light.
To find the light. I'm saying, yo, Gale be having these fucking clapbacks. And she doesn't even mean them to be clapbacks.
I mean,
she's just responding.
I'm telling you, I'm in love with the writer.
Yes.
We need to meet. Like, cause
like, can we go have brunch? Like, is that a thing? Do y'all do brunch?
I'll buy the mimosas. I will.
Oh man, I was thinking about mimosas the other day. Why was I thinking about mimosas? Because freaking the homies, Eliana and Chloe, Girls Gone Canon. Y'all check them out on YouTube if you haven't. They're awesome. They had a digital brunch on Sunday, and I was able to catch it, and it was so much fun.
That's really cool. So then he goes, shame grows in the dark. What do you have to be ashamed of? Because if you don't know nothing about Harry Seldon, is he know all the goings on that ship all the time.
All the goings on, son.
I think he already knows something going on between her and Raish. He may not know.
And she tried to tell him. She tried to tell Raish. She's like, "Look, he knows about us, okay?" And Raish was like, "Nah, no, we don't." And he was making all these random excuses, and she was looking like she literally was saying what I was thinking. Like, bro, why you worried? Like, do you think he doesn't want us to be happy? Like, what?
he says
What's the
all this nonsense,
problem?
and she's like, "Oh, are we really gonna have a conversation?" Then he goes, "Oh no, I just need you to cover this meeting for me because I won't be there." And then she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Wait, why?" She's like, "I've never done that before." He goes, "You'll
He's
be
like,
fine.
oh,
It's
it's just
numbers. It's
numbers.
just numbers. You'll be fine."
And I questioned that when he said it, but then once we got to the meeting, I was like, oh no, I see why he wanted to her to go. He's right. It is just numbers.
Right.
But it's the way those numbers are calculated and accrued.
And it's
That's
not
what
just,
he wanted
no,
her insight in on.
he wanted them to start looking at her as the leader because he also wanted to have a conversation with
That
Raish.
too.
Because you saw
Yes.
that they came and got Raish in the middle of the meeting. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where I was
Yeah,
like,
because he was in
what
there with
is
her. With her,
Harry
yep.
plotting? What is he plotting? So Raish leaves.
He wasn't plotting
Um,
anything. He just knew what was about to happen, and he knew he
no,
needed to try to prep her a little bit.
he's trying to prep her, but he used it as a way to get her out of the way so he could talk to Raish on his own.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why the whole comment about, oh, what's done in the dark is shameful. What? Only shame lives in the dark. Why you
yeah,
always
yeah. See,
in the
and
dark?
you know what? And actually thinking about it that way, that makes a little bit more sense for that freaking conversation he started while they were all in the mess hall.
Mm-hmm.
Because that little story he tried to bring in with when Raish was a kid
A
and
kid.
when he
Yeah.
first came in, I was like, hold on, Harry. Wait, I mean, I understand what you might be trying to say, but the way you telling this story and how you're wording it, sir, I
Yeah.
don't think this is beneficial. And literally the whole room froze, y'all. The
Right.
whole room, and Raish had to bring it correct, like, excuse me, sir, look, I know you think you thought you knew what was going down, but no, my dad was not just a random
He
drunk. Okay,
wasn't
no,
drunk.
he didn't start drinking until after you
I
came and
left
got me
him.
and I was gone.
I came to
He
live
got
with
hurt.
you.
He
Yep.
needed some medicine for his back.
Yep.
I stole the scrolls that I did because I knew I could get that medicine if I got it to the right person. It was
Right.
going to be a trade. I wanted him to get better so he could get back to work. That was
Right.
it.
Yep.
He didn't start drinking until after I left, and I only left because you came and got me.
Yep.
And that stopped like all conversation. He left the room after that, and
Yes, he did.
Harry tried to make another joke, and everybody was just looking at him like, bro, like even when he first started that whole conversation, I was like, wait, hold on, Harry, hold on. This don't look like the story you should be telling right now.
I know.
It really don't. And
And
hold on,
actually,
let me
did you
catch
see
this
in that
comment
mess
real quick.
hall too? In that
Hold
mess
on,
hall?
let me catch this comment real quick for KP.
Oh
Completely in
yeah.
love with Foundation. I am very quickly falling in love with it as well. Funda's watched it already. She's caught up. I am just now starting. She said I was trying to get Tony to do it because it was yeah. But I like this adaptation a lot, even though Asimov's vision was less than 50%. I haven't read the books, so I can't speak on that part. You know, eventually I will, because 9 times out of 10, when I know that a show came from a book series, I always go check out the source material. Like I just the way my brain operates. I have to. And they'll nowadays also, because KP said it. Shout out to Teflon. If y'all don't know who he is, go check him out. I do believe his links is down below. Otherwise, if he's not, just search Teflon TV on YouTube. Especially if you search Game of Thrones, you'll be able to find him very easily.
Nice. Okay.
He's good people.
So I forgot to mention that
continue.
when Damosel and Dusk were in the temple, something fell from the sky and actually hit
Yes,
Damosel's shoulder, and that's how we discovered that.
That's what really made me figure out, like, oh nah.
And it was like a beam, and I was like, "How she just glitched? She didn't fall to the floor or nothing, girl."
She barely hit the. Ooh, I gotta go. And mind you, there were like huge chunks of rock falling on them at that point. And she was not, it had nothing to cover her. And I saw that dip when it hit her. I said, oh, okay.
So when
I was already questioning what she was, but then I saw that. I said, yeah, she's definitely a robot.
You see her fixing herself with like nanotech, and Day is sitting.
Why was she doing that in front of the little boy, though?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Dawn be seeing all the things. That's why he becomes.
I hope that
Anyway,
Dawn is
I'm
a
not gonna.
better leader than Day once
Woo!
he comes of age.
He's interesting.
He seems like when he's with his brothers, it seems, and maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but it seems like he caps himself on what he's saying. But for real, he is seeing everything. And he is analyzing everything accurately. He's not in Day's frame of mind. He is not in Duck's frame of mind.
Not
he
only
is being just him.
He's being guided by her a lot.
Yes, I see that too.
A lot. And so it's
and
interesting.
It seems like she's not one of those evil robot plants, because she hasn't told him anything wrong at all.
She hasn't.
She's let him, like,
she's a good groomer though.
yeah. I will give you that. She's definitely grooming.
He's watching
but
her,
she's
and he seems to be real compassionate as she's hurt and she's fixing herself.
Yes,
and she
that was my first thought.
Like,
why are you doing this in front of the little boy though?
And he asked her, "Are you upset because you're not human?" And he goes, "Why do you act so human? Why do you want to be so human?" And she says, "It's confusing not to commit to one reality."
Yes, yeah, right. And one of the things that she says before that is like, I forgot what the line was that he said, but her answer to that was, all of the others that were like me are gone. So she's literally the last of her, and she looks like a robot. Yeah. But I'm gonna say species, because I think there are more than just robots. She's the last. She's the very last of her kind. So she's saying that it almost helps her that she's the last, because there's no other comparison that can be brought up against what she's doing. But she still does have the wherewithal to know and be who she is. She just tries to make herself bend where she needs to be a little more human. But it's still hard for her. And I get the gist that it's been a fair amount of years that she's been in this position. But she's still trying to make it seem that, she's not a robot, that she's human. She can fit in these spaces that she needs to fit into. But she's very what's the word?
Repetitive. And at this point, I was wondering how many cycles she's gone through with the Cleons.
Yes.
And how many times
it's been quite a while.
And that has
how many times
humanoid,
has she
been
reset?
So, not even reset. It doesn't seem like there's a reset. She's retaining.
Like she had, that's right. She has all that in there. That's why she's saying, I don't know sometimes what reality I need to be in.
Correct.
Because you got to think about that, because with Dusk, she has to think on a whole different set of memories and situations that they've experienced together. And then to go with Day, she has to think on a whole different set. But then you remember, these are all clones. So Dusk actually used to be Day. Correct. And pretty soon, Day is going to move into being Dusk.
Because the world is happening. The world
exactly. And this little boy, Dawn,
who experiences.
So and this little boy, Dawn, who she's basically a mother. Right.
That everything.
How do you differentiate that many timelines?
Yeah.
Dawn right now is like her son. Yep. And pretty soon he's going to be Day. And it's not been shown, but I get the gist. Eventually, she's going to be sleeping with Day, who used to be Dawn, and then go into Dusk. Like,
it's really gross. It grosses me out when I think about it. I'm like, ew.
That's what, I feel bad.
But I think
because holy shit,
I think she was his companion when he was the first one. I think the first one.
And I think that's why she's still there. Yeah. And that's why she said we got that line that it is difficult having to be in all of these different realities. Yeah. Dawn at this point, Dawn just doesn't understand exactly what that means. But because he is my favorite of the brothers, And from the way I've seen him interpret things, I think he's going to figure that out.
Where do you see him in season 2?
I could be wrong. But we'll see. I don't know. Like,
we'll put a pin in that.
Funda has more knowledge on this one than I do, so I don't know.
All right.
Don't tell me anything.
They go on to see Dusk and Day, and Dusk asks to meet with the delegates, and he promptly tells them at dinner that they're going to die. He goes, one or both of you blew up my shit, and both of you are gonna die.
He says this while they're at dinner.
While they're at dinner.
While they are at dinner, Reggie. Hold on. Okay, so shout out to the homie, the Silver Sight.
Like, dinner. Yeah.
Okay, so if you just now started, Reggie, if you got some time on a Thursday, let me know. You can come through, jump in on us, because I literally just started right now. Like episode 1 and 2, that's all I've seen. I will.
And that was actually Dusk on his own, just going off on a rant to the delegates. Like, if none of y'all want to own up to it, both of y'all gonna die. It just drops the mic and walks out the room, and the rest of them are looking from the balcony, and they're like,
he's doing that. He's doing that old man in power thing, though, to where he just wants to see who's gonna say the right thing to make him go, okay, you can go, but I know that was you that did that shit. You on the chopping block.
And then
I don't think he thinks either one of them are guilty, honestly.
Yeah. So then, just to wrap up on Trantor, Empire brings them out in front of everybody. He has bombs aimed. This Dawn is not nice. No, he is not.
Okay.
That same little boy is who becomes Dawn in season 2. So yeah, right. He's a trip.
Okay. I mean, you know what? I kind of love knowing that. Love knowing that.
Yep. You gonna find out. You mess around.
I'm here for it. I am here for all of
it. Anacron and Thespis, he has them kneeling. He has guns aimed at their planets. He has it in full living color so they could see. This man.
So much senseless death right there. Okay, hold on. Wait. Before you say it. Okay, so I just want to call back to there was a point in, I think it was near the beginning of this episode, where Day was asking, why do we still have, did I write the number down? Let me pull my notes up. Yeah, why do we still have 127,000 dead bodies still floating around the orbit from the destruction of the bridge?
137, yeah.
And the reason given was, they were not really a priority. Yes. And he was so pissed about that. And I understand why he was pissed, but then he gave me the reason for why he was pissed. And I said, damn it, motherfucker, I had hope.
He was just mad that
he was mad that it's a reminder of their failure.
Yeah.
Because and really, that mentality is exactly why
it burns up. It's a reminder that they got
exactly. Bombed. And that mentality is exactly why it was not a priority to move them bodies out, because she already knows you don't care about that.
Right. So then he sent them to be removed so that they could be clear.
So now they're being cleared and removed.
Because
now they're being cleared and removed.
He can show them that he's bombing their planets and destroying
and now, oh my God,
populations. Like that is genocide, people. Just in case you didn't know.
I mean, there's going to be maybe a few hundred
in addition to that,
left.
He starts by hanging all of the people that came with them.
All of their delegates. Everyone in those delegations that came.
Dawn.
You know what this was? Wait, no. See, all roads lead back to thrones. This was
beheading.
This was Lord Stark coming from Winterfell to get his son, to get Brandon, and go back home. And this was Ares saying, nah, all y'all got to die.
That's really gonna die.
and that's what happened. This was Lord Stark dying in King's Landing when he thought he was just coming to pick his son up to go back home.
And then
this is the bullshit that happened.
He gets all the delegates, and he leaves
planets
the leaders,
of people.
Bombs their planets, leave the leaders crying on their knees, and tells them to go back to their worlds and tell the living and the dead they could not save them.
That why you couldn't save them. And the woman that was on there, she almost immediately bowed her head and started praying. And he came to her, pulled her out her prayer, put his finger under her chin, like no. Look.
It was so
don't close your eyes. Look. And the key thing is they had holograms of these two planets.
Yes, getting
in front of those delegates with the army shooting all of their weapons at those planets. Hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people dead in the span of about 2 minutes. And they have to go back home as the leaders of those worlds.
Yeah.
And explain what happened.
Yep.
Like, look, that is, that right there. Where the hell is my mouse? That right there.
He was King Petty.
Like, I respect a good Petty, but this shit, no. Holy fuck.
And I mean,
like
he didn't.
5 billion. No, right. He had a serious thug and extra thug life moment. Like,
and he was proud of himself.
Lord.
And he was so proud. He was so proud
and he was so proud of himself. He said, nah, okay, you know what? Nah, I did that shit. Somebody needed to take the blame. And he said that. Last episode, he said somebody has to take the blame for this. Yeah. And instead of taking out the guy that was the hope, he thought that was going to work. But he said, okay, no, we can't do that. Nah, because just in case, it's got to be these guys. These two delegates just happen to be there at the right time. And it really was just happenstance that they were there, and he pulled the strings where he needed to. I understand why he did it, but for fuck's sake, Threnwill, that was some evil shit.
That was
hot
evil.
Damn.
Definitely evil. So back to the ship, and Harry is looking for his shirt. He goes to the laundry. You know, he's kind of walking around. He's taking it in.
And he has a little moment.
I feel like at the laundry. At that moment, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, he was ready to, like, check out for real. Like, I just saw it coming.
It's like he wanted to have his best clothes on for that.
Yes, he goes. He's like, I need this white shirt. They're like, we didn't get the ink stain out. He's like, I don't care. Just give it to me.
You know what? It don't even matter.
It's fine. Yep. I'm used to the ink stain. It's all good. He said like a true teacher. Teachers with their ink stains.
Shut up, KP.
So, you know, in the laundromat, a lady asked him, she says, Dr. Selden, are you happy with the progress of
happy? Bruh.
And he stops and gives this whole speech about how he's so impressed by everybody doing the work, and like he knows.
I don't think he was lying.
He knew all of their names, which is amazing.
And I wanted to make that clear. He knows all of these people's names. He knew exactly who that was speaking to him.
Who that was, who was in the laundry, they asked to shake his hand. He indulged them. He just had
can I shake your hand? And he didn't even really think about it. He just said,
I love this.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
In the most mundane of places.
The laundry room.
Not in the math meeting with the people running the show, with the people down here on the ground doing the work. If only
in the laundry room.
If only our leaders would learn from such a moment.
Right. And that right there, really seeing that that basically gave us as the audience, I think, the whole totality of his person, because he wasn't long for the world after this scene, and that basically wrapped up who this man really was and why he was actually trying to save humanity. He wasn't one of those get rich quick, or try to become a savior for this amount of time or whatever. No, he legitimately cared.
Wait till you see more about Harry's story too, though, in season 2.
I'm sure there's more to come.
A lot. There's so much.
And
it's so good with backstory.
I appreciated this scene
very, very good,
because I already liked his character, but this truly let me know, when he said, I look through the whole manifest of everyone that could be on here, every job application. Basically, he said, as the general manager, he looked through all that shit and he approved everybody. He knew everybody's name. He didn't have to even think long to know what this woman's name was. He didn't need to think about who the guy over there, random laundry sorter number 3 on the cast list. He knew that person's name. And that tells you, I think that tells you a lot about a person.
Within companies, good leaders,
hey, Chantel,
touch the people from the bottom to the top.
Exactly. And he chose all of those people.
There's actually a visual I use with my teams, where the leaders don't lead from top down. They don't lead from the podium. They come down there with you. They help you.
And they start from the ground level just like you do.
Exactly. Because, you can't really direct if you don't know what you're directing.
Facts. And that's one thing. Many moons ago, I used to work at a Steak and Shake that was on OSU campus. And first of all, having that job is why I will never be a Buckeyes fan. I know a lot of people in Ohio are Buckeyes fans. I don't care. Fuck y'all. I will always scream go blue, even though I'm really not that big a fan of Michigan. I just know that it fucks with them. So I say go blue. So, but the one thing when it comes to knowing the people in district office, because their main district office was here in Columbus, so we would have to go there. Once you start being a supervisor and going into being a trainer and a supervisor manager, you have to go to get your training classes at the main office. So I knew all those folks, and they got to know me. The main person that I really gave respect to was this little tiny white woman named Jen. And I respected the fuck out of her because Jen, at any point in time, could walk in on third shift and Ron, I'm going to say, I know you know what a third shift in Columbus on OSU campus could be like, because he lives here too. And them motherfuckers be drunk, ruthless assholes. Jen could come in at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever, walk in the kitchen and handle the fucking grill like she was a boss, okay? Mind you, again, she works in the corporate office, but she could still come in and get down with everybody working third shift, tired as fuck, on the grill in the kitchen. And she knew exactly what the fuck she was doing. And that is why I was like, okay, maybe I could be a part of this management team. Okay, cool. Yeah. So when you are at the top like that, and you know how to actually come in and be with every level of person in the industry, you're going to get, I don't even want to say it's something about clout, but you're just going to get that respect because you made yourself learn those levels. You respect those levels, so you get that respect back. And that's one thing I always loved about, right? And that is why, like, whenever Jen walked into any store, I guarantee everybody in the kitchen was like, yo, what's up, girl? Anybody else that came in from corporate office, we literally would just stare at these people like, yeah, okay. right. But if Jen want to come in and step in, we always had her back.
Right.
Seriously. So yeah, I really love that they put that part in with Harry, because you see, really he's not doing this just because he wants to be in charge. He wants to be the new savior. He's doing it because he cares. Yeah. He actually cares about what's going on. He cares about all of these people. And yo, look, Rob, Harry, it takes a strong will to work third shift on OSU campus. Yeah, and I had to do that shit for like 3 fucking years. And it made me a very mean person. And I had to leave.
Nothing can make you
no, look, it made me such a mean person one time that honestly I actually got in a fight on third shift one time. Oh my because God. I had to beat this bitch's ass because she was putting her hands on one of my people. And I couldn't do that because it was a guy. He wasn't gonna hit her back. But I was not about to let that fly. So I had to come around. I had to come around this. And I was a manager at that point. But,
right.
that's what I was. Anyway, back to this. We got like 9 minutes. 9 minutes before I go live with the boys.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're almost at the end. Let's go.
Harry gives his speech. He shakes hands. He says, thank you. And then he goes to the cafeteria. He has a little interaction with Raish where Raish tells the story that you talked about earlier. And then they call it a night. And we see that Gail is actually in the pool later. And she's counting prime. She's swimming. And all of a sudden, she misses one. Gail don't miss prime. She's off. Something's wrong.
And that's how she knew something was wrong.
She gets out the pool. She's like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Going to see Ray. She goes to see Ray. She's not in his quarters. She goes to Harry. And she starts running to Harry's room for some reason. She gets to Harry's quarters. And she sees Harry.
And what do we see?
Lying on the floor. White shirt on. Red blood coming out of his chest. Knife sticking out of his chest. Raish over him.
Raish with the fucking knife.
Looks up at her and says, you're not supposed to be here. Picks up the knife, grabs her hand,
like,
all blood. She's like, what are you doing?
She paid no attention to that. She was like, bro, what the fuck you doing?
He doesn't explain anything. He's just booking it down the hallway with her, grabs her, brings her to a pod, sticks her in the pod.
But they passed somebody.
Throws the knife in with her, which I did not understand. I was like, what are you doing?
I did not understand that. Like, hold on. Are you trying to frame her or are you actually trying to save her? Somebody just saw both of you walking out of here. What are you doing?
Yeah, the guy that was leading the math meeting, he ran past him, throws her in there, and says, count crimes. Count crimes. I love you. I'm so sorry.
I was like, wait a minute. Whoa. Hold on, Raish. Hold on, Raish. I was liking you. What happened?
When I tell you, I was like, that is the worst Romeo and Juliet rendition I have ever seen.
Oh my God. The worst. The absolute worst. I said, wait, hold on, Raish. Wait a minute. What? And yeah, Shantae, you're right. The wildest shit happens on third shift. And Grant, let me tell you, look, we had every situation, including finding a dead body in the restroom one time. That's how ridiculous working on OSU campus was for me on third shift.
You are on this tangent, and you're just gonna stay there.
You damn right. Look, I tried to get away. Okay, Chantel brought it back up. All right, I'm just saying. My bad. Anyway, come on. We got like 7 minutes, and we're almost done.
That's all that happened in episode 2. What were your high points of episode 2, other than the ones you already mentioned?
Everything that we said. Look, Friend Will. Okay, here's my exact notes. Friend Will killed on 2 planets senselessly. The doc tells a horrible story during the freaking the mealtime because that bullshit with Raish's dad. Nah, you come on,
he had a different interpretation.
Don't do that.
Which is what made me kind of question. Okay, so Harry has all this predictive ability,
exactly,
day-to-day stuff,
but you didn't see that.
Lost on him a little bit sometimes. So
right, he almost looked a little bit surprised when Raish told him. Yeah. He told him what the actual situation was. He said, oh, okay. And then he tried to tell a joke after Raish left, and nobody was laughing at that shit. I said, you know what, Harry? You deserve that.
Yep.
You deserve that.
You
cannot talk to working people like that, especially about their family, and think you just go smooth over it like that.
But that also made me question if his predictions are in the ballpark.
That's one thing that we missed.
Science. That's
one thing that we missed because Gail
means they could change and deviate.
Gail said that the calculations were not complete. Right. There's still a little bit more to go, but we don't know what those calculations are because Harry,
it's probably based on
hasn't done them yet.
Or decisions that people will make. So you can't predict off of things that haven't happened yet. You can predict off of behavior, but if things haven't occurred yet, or something occurs to skew your original assumption, it's
how are you going to compensate for that?
So
So I am completely locked in. Like, see, this is one of those shows, kind of like Game of Thrones for me. Like, I knew it was there. I knew I would love it. But I didn't want to get into it, just like I didn't want to get into Game of Thrones, because I knew as a writer, I was going to think up stories in that world. You know, specifically as a fan fiction writer, I was going to think up stories happening in that world.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also, currently I'm in.
Let me
Right. More freaking stories in my brain that I don't know if I even want to put on the page just yet. But currently, y'all, your girl is in an awesome writing group. Right now there's like 7 or 8 of us. The homie Nikki from 1001 is actually heading that group, and the current assignment we're on is to make a commercial, write a commercial about an object that was near us at the time of the small exercise that we did. So I have to write a commercial about my Tonto. I don't have it near me because it's like over on my couch. But a Tonto is a small sword. It's in the set, you know, like when you see a Japanese katana, and then there's like the middle sword and the smallest sword. Smallest sword is a Tonto. So I have to write a commercial to sell a Tonto. And I'm just because I'm me, I'm probably gonna make it like Valyrian Steel and do something in the Game of Thrones world. I don't know. If y'all think of something, message me. I'm easy to find on the socials.
Make sure it glows and can detect evil.
You know, that makes me mad. You know why? You know why that makes me mad? Because I will always question why Sting glowed, but nobody else's sword made glowed. It bothers me to this day. How do you put an asterisk like that in? But Sting is the only fucking sword that glows.
They threw that in there because the hobbits were cute. That was it.
You know what? I feel y'all. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Door knife. Yeah.
Oh,
see. Don't wait. I know what you're talking about when you say that. But Valyrian Steel is still so much cooler though. And mind you, I love Dorn, and Rod knows he was on with me for a lot of my Game of Thrones streams. I love Dorn, but Valyrian Steel's cooler. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But because we are so close to time and we did make it in those 2 hours, next week, you guys, we will be doing episode 3 and 4.
Yep.
So come back for that Thursday, and again, if you're up for some more things, we're gonna be talking about Only Murders in the Building on DJ's channel in just a few minutes. So join me, DJ, and Fandom for that. Coming up very soon, within about the next like 2 or 3 minutes, we're gonna go. And then, like I said, join me on Funda back again. We'll be here for episode 3 and 4 discussion of Foundation next Thursday. I think this time works good for us.
Yeah,
because I mean, if any other day works for you with the boys, though, let me know.
Oh,
and we could probably make that happen.
Yep.
However it works, because like I said, I'm always down with the tiny humans. So whatever the boys' schedule is, that's what I make my schedule. So
okay,
gotta make sure the boys are taken care of first.
Yep, no problem.
All right, so thank you guys for coming through and hanging with us. Lady
everybody.
V came through. Sucker Brothers, Mother Roan was in here from the very start. Chantel came in. Thank you. Jake was in here. The homie KP was in. Appreciate y'all coming through. Join us every Thursday. If you're not watching Foundation just yet, we're at the beginning. Start watching it with us. We're doing episode 3 and 4 next week. You got a whole week to catch up. 4 episodes. Yeah. We do that easy. Come through and chat with us about it. All right. So we will see y'all next time. Peace out.
Have a good one.